Hi guys, welcome back to SSRG and Your View. And as you know, all of us are here to also dish and talk on a topic that is really interesting. And I remain Fidel Nade. With me here are my colleagues, and they will introduce themselves, starting from the one by my right.
Hi everyone, my name is Okolie Tochukwu. I go by the name TC, and
Oh,
I'm here in the US. Happy to be here.
okay. Yeah.
My name is Prince Chiagozeko, but people just call me Prince.
Okay. Okay. The next person, the final person, drum rolls.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, and I'm a master's student. Yeah.
Yeah, and together we are all SSRG members. And as you know, SSRG is a research organization that tries to translate empirical research to social action. And this is one of the platforms that we use to discuss things that are really important, that we try to bring research to hear your view as you hear our view. And of course, all the opinions that are going to be shared here is not really SSRG view, but the opinions of each person. So the individuals are going to be held accountable to what they say and not SSRG.
So you are throwing me under the bus.
Yes, of course. Whatever you say, you'll be held accountable, not SSRG as an organization. Let's dive into it. We're talking about AI. Yes, it's AI we're talking about today, and it's going to be AI with connection to social work, education, and research, because of course we all are young. I am a young researcher. I don't know for the other guys. Maybe they're advanced, but I am a young researcher. I identify as one. AI has come to stay, and I don't think it's going anywhere soon. And that is what we want to talk about. So stay tuned, and we want to see what you think at the end of this video. Yeah, so I'm going to dive in, guys. So TC, what do you think? Like, what was your first encounter with AI? Like, and how did it make you feel? Like, what was that? Can you remember the experience and how it made you feel?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. I don't think I ever used AI while in my undergrad back in Nigeria. And I was very afraid of using AI. I just started using AI like recently. And when I use it, I still use it with so much fear and anxiety of who is watching, like the big brother is watching or someone is watching me doing the wrong thing. Yeah. And when I mean recently, I mean like 2024. Like that's how recent I started using AI.
That's really interesting. The word afraid caught me. You are like, are my parents watching? Am I doing something illegal or something? And I mean, it's not even illegal, is it?
I mean,
So,
in the
Well, it
academic
depends on how
world,
you use it.
exactly.
okay. So let's go to you that just added an opinion. Depends on how you use it. So what was your first experience, Prince, when you encountered AI? And if you can remember what you used it for, it's also good to share.
Well, to be honest, I can't really pin down my first experience with AI because I know that it was in 2024 that generative AI became a talk of the town. But before then, AI, we are already integrated in a lot of apps that we use. So like Google Maps, even Google itself, we are using, and like all those Siri and the rest of them, we are using some form of AI or the other. So I have been using something like Grammarly for a while, and it's recently that it became clear that Grammarly uses AI to advance your writing. But before then, it had some form of AI in it. So I can't pin down exactly when AI became part of my everyday use. So
okay. So like you kind of know that these things you were using had some form of programming that helps the computer work.
of course, the public general consciousness to AI is a recent thing, but AI has been around for longer.
Yeah.
People have been using it in devices and in apps that we use for a longer period of time than what we describe as AI now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The prudence, Emmanuel, was that the same for you, or do you have a very different experience? I want to hear.
Not quite different, but I would say slightly different.
Okay.
So when I was studying for my bachelor's, that was when I knew about AI for the first time, but I never used it.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Even though I knew about it, I didn't have good knowledge of it, because what I knew, like my knowledge of AI as at then, was just limited to the ones that are very popular in the academia, like the ChatGPT and all of that. So then I did not even know that AI is like applicable to almost everything. But even at that, I didn't use it because I saw it as something that is like, for instance, I saw it as malpractice, just to put it that way. So I saw it as something I shouldn't do. And I was also thinking that when I start using AI, it means I cannot be as productive as I am supposed to be as a student.
Limits
So I
your
knew
thinking.
about it, but I didn't use it. So I used it for the first time now that I'm doing my master's. That's the first time I tried AI, and I use it in a very, even now I still use it in a very restricted way. Yeah.
I think you are just taking the next question I'm going to ask, and then you just answered this, but maybe you can give us a better detail.
Yeah.
You don't remember using it a long time ago, but now you use it. So I want to bring it to the present. What is your experience now with AI in your career and everyday life in general? What is your experience with AI?
My experience using AI has been good. It's completely different from what I thought when I was doing my bachelor's. Because I thought if I use AI, I would be like doing something completely wrong. But I found out that why suffer so much when AI can do a lot of things? So I found that I've been suffering unnecessarily, or like almost all my life. And I regretted doing that. But also, I still have this restriction I talked about, like being so strict about how I use AI. So currently, the way I've used it, because you've asked me to share my experiences, that I always use AI to, first of all, gain ideas. You know that moment when you want to do something as a student, but it seems you don't even know where to start. AI can always give you heads up, like at least an inkling of how to start. And I like it because something I can sit and think about for 3 days, AI can make it easy and get the work going just in 2 minutes or less. So this is it. For instance, I always use it to like try to refine my research topic. Maybe I want to research on something and I have a topic in mind. I will always go like GPT, for example, or Copilot, and say, how do you see this topic? And it ends up making it so good in a way that I'm sure I would not have thought of. So why not? I don't see anything wrong in doing that.
I'll still come back to you to I understand what was the shift and the change, because before now you think it was removing critical thinking, and now we don't think that way. But let's go to other people and understand how is it with you now with AI now.
So my experience with AI now, like Ima said, it has been a blessing. It has been when I mean a blessing, it has made my work much more easier. So I started using AI, like I said, last year in my master's program, obviously. My own view about it is that you're not going to AI with you're not asking AI to just give you everything. You're putting in some things, you're querying AI. And that's how I use it, for example. So I query AI, ask AI some things. It gives me back results. I look at the result, I look at it. If it doesn't make sense to me, I say, like, you need to see me having conversation with AI. I'm like, no, this is not what I meant. Please consider this aspect, consider this variable, consider this other aspect of this. And so you begin to query AI, and at the end of the day, it gives you feedback that you want. And the thing is, when it gives you that feedback, like Ima said about critical thinking, you don't just take everything hook, line, and sinker. You still sieve out what is important and then go do the real academic search on what that thing AI gave you and see if that thing is actually real. Because most of the concern about the AI is actually about wrong citations and references that do not exist somewhere. So that's been my experience. I've used it for critical thinking.
Excellent. Amazing. I need to also see you discuss with your AI. That would be an interesting watch.
Yep.
Let's go back to friends. Let's hear from you. How is it been with you and AI now in your career life and everything you can remember?
AI has been useful to me. I would be lying if I say that I have not used it or I don't use it at all. But I'm also careful with how much I use it and what I use it for. So one of the things that I have used AI to do, especially the one attached to Grammarly, is to make sure that my grammar and my spellings are going well, right? So because I produce work as a researcher, right? And sometimes I'm more worried about like the final produce that I have having some grammatical error and spelling errors. But Grammarly and its associated AI helps me identify some of these things, right? Even though an editor and the reviewer would still, pick out some of these things, but it helps me a lot. And then like sometimes I also like if I'm writing something and I have writer's block and I struggle for days and I can't make any headway, I go to AI and ask questions that might help give me some ideas on how to move forward with what I'm thinking about. But the last thing that somebody convinced me to use AI for is that I was arranging my references, and I do it manually. I don't use Mendeley or Zotero. I usually do it manually, and I've been doing that for years. But last month, somebody said, why not use ChatGPT to arrange your references? So I'm like, okay, I copied 2 pages of the references, put it in ChatGPT and say, can you arrange this in APA 7th edition for me? And voila. Arranged it.
Now I'm learning. Now that's the learning for me. I never knew.
That's the most recent way I used ChatGPT to make my work easier for myself.
Amazing. All of you are scholars, and I also ask personal life, but I don't think I heard anybody say personal life. For me, I planned my shopping list. I moved to countries in Europe, and when I landed Riga, I had this budget for spending, and I'm like, I'm going to Lidl. I have 70 euros for the month, plan my budget to fit this. And the list in 2 minutes. This is what I will use calculator to do for 2 days, and my head will be bouncing. But AI did it in 2 minutes or less, or seconds. So
can I chip in something to that?
Yes, you can, please.
So like just what you said, made me recall, same last year, I was in Washington, D.C., and I needed to visit some places, but I didn't know where to start from because Washington has so many nice places to visit. So I just put it ChatGPT, list of places to visit in Washington, D.C., and it came up with lists, and some of them were just literally behind me. It gave me like the distance and stuff and all of that.
So away from the serious stuff, research and all, I know we're scholars, we can also do some little things with it. So back to the serious stuff, of course, research. So how has it been, AI, like more concrete now, how has AI helped shape your research? I know you've talked about it, but in ways, and I would need you to because people are going to watch this video and they want to check out those AI that you've been using. So for concretely, if you can remember those apps, you can say this helped me to do that, and in my research, and this helped me to prove or whatever. Let's do that in just a few minutes.
I remember specifically, it was when I went to UMBC that someone convinced me about Perplexity AI. And the good thing about
UMBC?
University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I thought everyone should know that.
We don't stay in America.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I live in the trenches.
My bad. So someone convinced me really to start using AI, like legit. That was when I started using.
Convinced you as a student? Or...
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So Perplexity AI, that was the one he told me about. And the good thing about Perplexity AI, not to critique ChatGPT, but at that time, I don't know if ChatGPT has developed. At that time, ChatGPT was producing on existing references. But
It still does, except if you pay for the
advanced,
premium.
the premium version.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
But Perplexity AI, I think 95%, I'm not factual, but like 95% of the time for me, it gives me actual references that do exist. So
Yeah.
what I do when I need to start my research is I just query, like ask. So for example, I'm doing something on homelessness among older adults. So I just ask, what is the research knowledge about homelessness among older adults in the US like? And then it gives you a snippet, an understanding of what it is like. And then I see some key information that I think are important. Maybe they say older adults who are homeless are more likely to do this or are more likely to abuse drugs or whatever. I pick up that sentence and I say, okay, provide me the source of these statements. And then it gives me a citation or a reference. And then I pick up that citation, go to the search engine, search for that article, and then read up that article. So for me, it makes the work easier for me because I could have just...
Yeah, so for you, TC, Perplexity tops the most current AI apps you've used. All right, let's move to back to Prudence. Let's have it.
For me, of course, I also use ChatGPT, but not as much as I use Copilot.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Explain Copilot. Where do we see?
Even though they are also kind of related, but when you use it very well, you see the differences in how they work. So yeah, Copilot is just like every other AI that you can ask anything. It can do anything. It can generate pictures.
It can do anything. Is that not a very big statement?
So it's like this is what I use all the time, and just almost as Tochukwu has said, I always use it to refine the things I'm doing. Not like I completely depend on it to do everything. Some people would rather, for instance, just input an assignment topic or a research topic to AI and ask it to do everything. And it can do that. It can write a good introduction, the literature review, whatever. But this is where I have a problem because to me, it doesn't make sense. So when I use Copilot, I ask it to help me, especially that moment when you feel that you have been thinking, but you're not coming up with anything. So I usually ask it to assist me. For instance, the last time I used it, I was trying to draft IDI questions for my data collection.
What's IDI? There are
in-depth interview.
Scholars. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
In-depth interview questions for my research, and then I was trying to get them based on my research questions. But even at that, I realized that at a point I wasn't being productive. So yeah, I just turned to Copilot and say, this is my topic. So could you please suggest good interview questions? And then it gave me very, beautiful things that I know maybe even in the next day I wouldn't have thought of that. And also there are some part of it I thought that, okay, I do not really need this. This is not really necessary to what I'm doing, and I had to delete them. So I think this is how best it works. Not like when I go there and ask it to write me my research and I submit it.
So Copilot is your go-to AI app. That's fine.
Yeah.
For me, I think the AI I use now, I use Perplexity, of course, because I'm also a master's student, but Litmaps did an amazing job for me. I would say I am, in quotes, a lazy researcher. So what Litmap does for me is to do literature review in a very fast way. Or if I want to know how much has been written or has been done in a topic before I venture there, because I'm currently working on life skill development of children. And this is just what I can put in the Litmaps, and it gets me all the research that has been ongoing in that area and has been done from 2025 down to any time it has. Cannot get everything, but it helps. So Litmap is doing that for me. So let's go to you, Prince. We have you back.
I think it depends on what I want to do. And for the first time, Perplexity that Tochukwu just mentioned, I came across it 2 days ago. That was the first time I heard about it. ago, 2 days
You
ago.
would think people know about these things, but they
No,
don't.
2 days ago. But I
Ooh.
found it interesting, like the way it.
Today?
When I
Woo!
mentioned it, you don't get it.
I
Okay.
just
I think I'm the AI girl here. I use all of them a lot.
So, but I because my research, I like to do a lot of art with my research. So I sometimes, instead of having to generate all the ideas, I try to use AI to help me create some of my art for my research. For that, I specifically use ChatGPT to do that.
Okay.
And it's
The
interesting
pro version
because
or the basic version?
the basic version.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is that it doesn't always give me exactly what I want. So I have to just look at what it gave me and then create my own from that, right? But then it's tried to test Perplexity with to see how it would create art for me. And I put in a query that it should help me create an insibidi symbol for social support. And it said, what I did appreciate that it said, as an AI language model, I do not have the authority or cultural knowledge to invent new symbols for this traditional script.
Ooh.
So, but when I put the same thing in ChatGPT, it came up with something,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it shows how so Perplexity kind of tries to, show more cultural humility and consciousness with regards to stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I would say now I'm going to try to use Perplexity in the future, but it depends on but I would say the AI that I use the most would be Grammarly.
Oh, yeah.
Because personally, I don't want to use AI as much for the work that I do, because you have to show that every time you use AI, in any work that you do, you have to tell us that you used AI, that AI helped you. We are not saying that you should say that AI you wrote everything for
Yeah, I
you.
think we're going to
But
come to the ethics
but if
part.
you used
Yeah.
AI, so you have
These
to
things.
show at least how much AI helped you with the work that you are doing.
Yeah.
So I use mostly Grammarly, and the reason is that Grammarly is attached to my Microsoft Word. So when I'm typing fast and I misspell something or I write something wrongly, it pops up and helps me to
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. But there are also, for those listening, there are also AIs that can draw arts, like just specifically for drawing and creating videos. Like there's Claude AI and other AIs that you can explore by looking at it.